Socks ASMR video. Please find yourself accepted, welcomed here, and validated in everything that you're going through. Today we are going to be reading from the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, this ancient scripture, sung 5,000 years ago, full of much spiritual knowledge. I hope you are as excited for it as I am. Maybe not too excited, for this also is a space of relaxation. But you're allowed to fall asleep and maybe just wake up with even more wisdom. Before we start reading, let us light some ceremonial incense. I trust that you are doing as well as you can, given whatever circumstances may be prevailing in your life at this time. And even if not, that's okay too. Without further ado, let us start chapter 7 of the Bhagavad Gita. This chapter is called The Supreme and His Nature. After describing the various methods to attain Him, Lord Krishna in this chapter reveals to Arjuna the greatest secrets about his own nature, known only to his true devotees who are ever established in knowledge and constantly endeavor for his association. As I mentioned in earlier episodes, the Bhagavad Gita starts out strong and then gets even better as it goes on. This is one of those chapters where it gets really good, in my opinion. Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, "Hear, O Partha, how by practicing yoga of meditation, having the mind absorbed in me, and taking refuge in me, you can know me completely, beyond any doubt. I shall declare to you in full this knowledge, combined with practical realization, which being known, nothing more remains to be known here. Among thousands of people, perhaps one strives for perfection, and among those who diligently strive for perfection, perhaps one knows me in essence." Krishna thus declares to Arjuna that the knowledge of him is the peak of all knowledge. However, only the best of seekers get to know him as he truly is. Earth, water, fire, air, space, mind, intelligence, and ego. These 8 separate elements constitute my material nature. This is my inferior nature. Different from it, do understand, O Mahabaho, my superior nature, the very life element, soul, by which this material world is upheld. Know that these, Krishna's 2 natures, comprise the womb, the source of everything. Understand that I am the creator as well as the annihilator of the entire universe. There is nothing whatsoever superior to me, O Dhananjaya. All things, beings, and objects are strung in me as a row of gems on a thread. O Kaunteya, I am the taste of water, I am the light of the moon and the sun. I am the syllable Om in all the Vedas, the sound in space, and virility in men. I am the sweet fragrance in the earth, and I am the luminescence in the fire, the life in all beings, and the penance in the ascetics. Know me to be the eternal seed of all beings, O Bharta. I am the intelligence of the intelligent. I am the splendor of the splendid, and I am the strength of the strong, devoid of desire and attachment. However, I am the passionate desire for self-realization in beings, not contrary to the duties of human existence. Striving for perfection, O best among the descendants of Bharata. Know all manifestations of existence indeed, be they pure, passionate, or dark, to have emanated from me. They are in me, as Krishna contains the whole creation. Yet I, Krishna's all-powerful, all-encompassing divine self, am not in them. This entire world, deluded by these 3 modes, purity, passion, and darkness, of my material nature, does not understand me to be beyond these and as inexhaustible. Indeed, this divine illusion of mine, consisting of the modes of material nature, is difficult to cross over. Only those who take refuge in me can cross over this illusion. The miscreants, the deluded fools, the lowest among humanity, whose wisdom is stolen by material illusion, who follow the path of demonic beings, do not seek shelter in me. O best among the descendants of Bharata, 4 kinds of virtuous people worship me: the distressed, the seekers of knowledge, the seekers of wealth, and the wise, those who know Krishna's real nature. Of them, the wise, ever engaged in devotion, is the special one, for I am very dear to the wise, and they are very dear to me. All of these, the 4 kinds of worshippers, are indeed noble, but the wise I consider as my own self. For, being mentally steadfast, they are settled in me as the highest goal. After numerous births, the wise person attains me, realizing me to be everything, Such a great soul is very hard to find. Some commentary. Krishna is the Supreme Being. He may assume material forms in this world, but that does not make him an ordinary human being. He is the source of everything, and also the destroyer. He is the most superior one, and exists in all elements of the universe, both tangible and intangible. The unfortunate ignorant souls, deluded by material nature, cannot understand him. To know him, one must seek refuge in him by entirely surrendering to him and perceive him as the highest goal. Krishna continues, those whose intelligence has been stolen away by the various kinds of material desires move to worshipping other gods, the demigods, following the particular demigods' respective injunctions of worship according to their, the deluded soul's, own nature. Whatsoever form, demigod, a devotee desires to worship with faith, I make that very faith of theirs unflinching. That is, not forcing them to worship Krishna directly. Endowed with that faith, they engage in worship of that form, demigod, and from that worship gains fulfillment of their desires. However, in reality, these satisfactions of desires are indeed arranged by me alone. This is a very powerful point, that it is not to say that some people worship Krishna and other people worship another form besides Krishna. Though that may be true on the surface, secretly they have been worshipping Krishna all along, and Krishna is responsible for their faith in other things as well. How mysterious and beautiful that is to hear. The rewards gained by people of little intelligence, the worshippers of the demigods, are limited, perishable. The worshippers of the demigods go to the abodes of the respective demigods, whereas my devotees come to me, Krishna's abode, Vaikuntha. Another wonderful point here, that you know when you're worshipping Krishna when the rewards for your worship are permanent, but the rewards for worshipping lesser forms are always transient. They do not stay forever. Some additional commentary, clearly stating the hierarchy of the spiritual world. Lord Krishna declares that he is the supreme God. Demigods have been created by him to fulfill the material desires of the deluded souls. However, the source of the powers of the demigods is Lord Krishna himself. Worshipping demigods can provide temporary material pleasures only, but to experience eternal bliss, a seeker must worship Krishna directly. The unintelligent ones think of me as the unmanifest who has become manifest, assuming a human-like body, not perceiving my higher nature, imperishable and supreme. I am not manifest to all, veiled by my material, human-like form. The deluded world knows me not, the unborn, the imperishable. O Arjuna, I know all the beings of the past, the present, and the future, but me no one knows. O descendant of Bharata, O Parantapa, all beings are immersed into delusion, forgetting the spiritual truths about themselves and God. At birth, bewildered by the dualities arising from desire, likes, and aversion, dislikes. But people of virtuous deeds, undertaken over several lifetimes, whose sins have been fully negated by such virtuous deeds, being freed from the delusion of duality, likes and dislikes, worship me, remaining steadfast. Those who strive for liberation from old age and death, taking refuge in me, knowing that Brahman, Krishna himself, everything about the self, soul, adhyatma, and about actions, karma. Those who perceive me in the physical manifestations, material beings, adhibhuta, in the godly beings, the demigods, adhidaiva, and also in sacrifices, as the beneficiary, adhiyagya, with their minds thus engaged, can perceive me even at the time of death. Some final commentary. Lord Krishna is present everywhere. However, we forget him, and we forget our own nature as well. As soon as we take birth in this material world and come into contact with material nature, such contact deludes our minds into the illusion of opposites, our likes and dislikes. For example, however, going through several lifetimes, we progress, regaining that lost wisdom and devoting ourselves to Krishna, thereby returning where we truly belong in the end, the divine abode of our Master. And so we end chapter 7 on the Supreme and his nature. One of my favorite chapters, a concise one. I actually love to hear when Krishna is describing himself in such colossal terms. It's very inspiring to know of such a being, even in story alone. The richness of Krishna's true nature is veiled by many layers of poetry and our own limited understanding. Throughout this book, we shall unveil those layers and get to the heart of some of the most sublime spiritual truths. Until then, I thank you, my dear viewer, for joining me, listening together. May you have a wonderful rest of your present moment. Namaste.